Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Noble-Forcey here for Seconds Out. I'm joined with former world champion Paulie Malignaggi. How are you, Paulie? How are you getting on?
I'm good. I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm phoning to talk about the big event in Florida this weekend. Brandon Glanton takes on David Light for the WBO global title, and there's another WBO regional title on the line as well. Yeah, interesting fight coming up. Two undefeated records. A company you're very involved with, do the commentary and many other things, and there's a great podcast out. Tell us about this event coming up on Friday, Paulie.
Yeah, we're gonna have it. It's David Light against Brandon Glanton, two undefeated cruiserweights, vying for potential world title shots. The winner of this fight could very well potentially wind up in a world title shot for the WBO cruiserweight title. You know, they're both ranked in the top 10 in the cruiserweight division worldwide. It's really a culture clash with Light coming all the way from New Zealand and Glanton being here from the States, being in Florida or Alabama. So this is sort of one of the ways you see boxing kind of unifying the world in that way. It's a global sport, and I guess hence why we're putting the global title on the line, right?
Yeah.
WBO. But nonetheless, I think the more important part of this fight is the fact that there is an opportunity where if the winner looks good and really impresses, that there could be a situation to work his way into a voluntary defense of the world from the world champion, which is Lawrence Okolie, or even get a little step closer to the mandatory position, which also would force Okolie to take on the winner either way. So I think that that's what you start boxing for. Those are the things you really get your juices going. I think at the end of the day, we like our little titles. We like our regional titles, which are obviously on the line in this fight. But I think the big carrot, the big cherry on top of all this is that the chance that possibly winning this fight could put these guys into a position to fight for a world title. And that really excites them. And obviously it excites us all here at Pro Box TV, because we're looking to put on the best fights possible. We're consistently vying for that. We're consistently vying to be, the home for all things boxing. And, we got some big plans in 2023, and we hope that the winner of this fight is part of them.
So Brandon Glanton is your guy. He headlined a show was it just a month ago or 2 months ago?
Yeah, we've had Brandon here at Pro Box TV for a couple of fights already, and he's been impressive. He's a big knockout puncher. We think that he's also exciting, and we think that as much as the fans get a load of him and get a look at him, we think that a lot more fans will be impressed with not just the way he fights, but also the fact that he brings excitement value to the ring and to the sport, and they'll be tuning in. He's a guy who likes to fight at close quarters, close range. He's a pretty big puncher, and he's looking to make the fight all the time. So these are the kind of characteristics you look for in a fighter that not only are you promoting, but you're also looking to watch as a fan as well.
Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday, and he just wants to knock everyone out. He says he's not thinking of anything else. So that's pretty cool from a fan's point of view. How would you compare his adversary on Friday night, David Light? Bit more of a boxer.
Light is more of a boxer, yes, but he's an aggressive boxer. He comes forward. He fought Trent Broadhurst, who fought for the WBA light heavyweight title against Bivol. I believe he either had the title or it was vacant when Bivol and him fought for it. Either way, Broadhurst has been in a light heavyweight world title fight. And I like the way Light handled it. He uses bigger size. He pressed Broadhurst, but it was behind the jab. It was behind some tactical boxing. But he likes to be aggressive as well. So I think it'll be interesting to see, because behind his jab coming forward, he's going to obviously be trying to, I think, back up Glanton. And Glanton is a guy who also likes to be on the front foot and put you on the back foot to where he can sort of get his power going. So I think it'll be a good little collision there. Styles are slightly a little bit different, but also they'll be looking to use their tactics in an aggressive manner. And I think that also makes for a fight that could evolve into something fun.
Yeah, they're both big cruiserweights as well, aren't they? They're both
good sized cruiserweights.
So it should be good. Interesting something Brandon said on the interview yesterday. He said the cruiserweight division isn't that well respected in your country. Is he right in that?
Well, it's not that it's not well respected. It's more so that a lot of cruiserweights are looking to move up to the heavyweight division. So it sort of becomes like a pit stop on their way up to the heavyweight division. The reason it doesn't get a lot of notoriety is because you never really see a long reigning cruiserweight champion,
Yeah.
And because if a cruiserweight has a lot of success, he'll move up to the heavyweight division, and also his contenders will also move up to the heavyweight division. So it's not always a division that has a lot of depth, because if there's a certain amount of good fighters in it, one or two, or rather the majority of them will eventually move up to heavyweight division. So if you've got a good champion in that weight class, all of a sudden he's looking for good adversaries in order to continue his reign and to build up his name. And all of a sudden, those guys themselves sometimes don't wait for that shot. Sometimes those guys themselves will end up moving up to the heavyweight division. So it creates a sort of a paradox for a guy who's a champion in the cruiserweight division, or who's a top cruiserweight. It winds up becoming sort of a create your reputation weight class and then move up to the heavyweight division. And that's sort of why it hasn't gotten a big recognition. But we've seen some terrific cruiserweight world champions in the past, starting from Evander Holyfield, Alexander Usyk, David Haye, Johnny Nelson, so on and so forth, I think it has been more fun in the recent years. I don't know if some of that had to do also with the World Boxing Super Series having those tournaments as well. But nonetheless, I believe it has become more fun. And I think Okoli is a fun champion. And I think Glanton and Light will make for a fun fight. And then people will continue to be interested in it.
Yeah. So back to sort of Pro Box TV, this newish TV channel.
And also, I believe, I don't want to cut you off. I believe also Light, for his side of the world, that there's a cruiserweight world champion that just beat Max Brace, who's in Australia, who's from closer to that side of the world as well, from Light side of the world. So, it's a global phenomenon.
Yeah, definitely. Couldn't agree more. Back to sort of the philosophy of Pro Box TV. Am I right in believing you're like a co-founder in the company, or?
Obviously, the brainchild behind this. The brainchild behind this is Gary Jonas. This is his creation, his spawn of his thinking, his creativity, and his fandom in boxing as well. He's a big fan of boxing, and obviously he's a smart businessman. He's had a lot of success in his life, and he kind of wanted to merge the two, an intelligent business mind with a relatively intelligent boxing mind, and also a fan of the sport, of a guy who's a fan of the sport and wants to continue to grow the sport and have success in it as well, like he's had success in his other ventures in his life. So I think it was sort of a perfect marriage for Gary. But for me, I'm one of the co-founders in terms of that. I'm one of the first guys that he came to.
Yeah.
And the shout out to Chris Glover, who made the connection. We kind of merged, and I think Gary looks at me like somebody that he can rely on as far as being a name to put on a face to put on the company. Gary, as intelligent as he is not he's not a face of boxing, right? But a guy like me, who's a 2x world champion and had fought at the upper echelon of the sport for about a decade of my life, there's a more recognizable face when you think about Pro Box TV. And so I think it's going to be a terrific collaboration. I think it's on its way to growing, and I think the vision Gary has in terms of not only growing the sport, but growing the brand and growing the sport together, and really hoping to, not just give great fights, because that's what we do, but also great podcasts, boxing news, and things of that nature. I think we're going to have something of a terrific package where fight fans can always come here at Pro Box TV, and it's a very affordable thing as well. So I think it'll be a terrific marriage overall, and something that will really progress, and it'll be great for boxing fans and boxing people overall.
Brilliant, man. One thing I've noticed as well, you've had a few away fighters pick up victories on the card quite consistently. So it appears that you're giving the opponents good time, preparation, and opportunities.
Not only that, we're giving them preparation, and we like our 50-50 fights. The motto here has been good fighters and great fights. So we're sort of the old ESPN Friday Night Fights memo. That motto. That's sort of the way I look at it. Where there's guys on the come up who you're going to look at tomorrow's champions, tomorrow's stars, and also there's guys who may have been champions or stars at one time, or maybe are fading on the way down a little bit, and they're looking to work their way back up into contention right at the right moment in their career. So there's a lot of those kind of crossroads fights where there's a lot on the line for both guys, and because there's a lot on the line for both guys, and both guys are capable, you end up with really good fights and really great fights between good fighters who are looking to be great. or may have been great at one time who want to go back to be great. We had our first show had involved Jean Pascal. He was taking on Fen Long Mang. Fen Long Mang is the guy who was on the come up. Pascal was sort of on the come down. But Pascal had been a great fighter at one time. He was on the come down, but he ended up knocking off the undefeated prospect. So these are the kind of things we want to, the kind of matchups we look to make that are just right to give entertainment for the fans.
Definitely. So we're getting a show a month out of you guys at the moment. So you guys are at it non-stop. So yeah, for $1.99 a month, it's insane.
Yeah, $1.99 a month. You can't beat that. And you get the whole package there. You'll get the podcast with no commercials on the app for $1.99 a month. You'll get the fights. We have 2 cards a month right now. We're looking to add more. We're going to be working. You're going to see some of the best prospects in boxing. I believe at Pro Box TV, we have some of the best prospects in boxing signed here. And we're going to continue to grow, and we think fans are going to like it. And like I said, for the affordable price, you can't beat it.
Yeah, you can't beat that at all. Who should we keep an eye on coming out of the Pro Box stable? Some of the prospects.
I don't like to give names because then there's other prospects that are also not getting a mention. But there's I'm gonna end up mentioning all of them because we have several. But we have guys like Darrell Valsaint, who we call Kid Blast, who's an ex-Olympian. We got Marcus and Dominic Valle. We've got Najee Lopez. We've got several prospects and several others who are really, really looking good on the way up, and we hope that they'll continue to get better and better. We have Jacob Gomez, who is from the Cotto clan in Puerto Rico, and Jean Paul Rivera. Again, I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head, but there's more there. But again, I hate these kind of questions because I remember when people would get asked questions when I was a prospect, and then I wouldn't get mentioned among those prospects because maybe I slipped their mind or something that I get mad. So I don't want to downplay the other prospects we have by mentioning only some and not others. But yeah, I just did that nonetheless.
Yeah, brilliant. You mentioned Miguel Cotto there. There's another part you're doing the shows with him in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we've done some shows in Puerto Rico with Cotto's promotion as well. We're looking to, kind of branch out and then do some things. Obviously Juan Manuel Marquez is one of our brand ambassadors as well. A terrific champion and in his own right, and a guy who has a lot of connections in Mexico. So we're looking, like I said, to bring cards from various parts of the world, and we've worked with different people already. Yeah,
bit of an all-star cast in the background there with all you guys. So yeah,
absolutely.
Really cool. We haven't seen you in the UK for a long time. You're a big part of sort of like the media scene. Every time I look at the shows,
it's I had a good time working those shows. It was fun with having done them with Sky Sports in the past, but right now between the slight political realm of the cancellation world, and then my work here at Pro Box, I'm rather busy anyway, and honestly, I'm with such a good team right now that I wouldn't really I wouldn't spread myself too thin at this point anyway, because 2023, I really believe Pro Box is going to be looking to jump into another level and continue to grow to the next level, and I think more and more people are going to find out about us.
Yeah, well, maybe you'll be on British shores one day with Pro Box TV, so that would be pretty cool. We could do with some decent matchmaking in the country, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, our final question, Paulie. I won't ask you on a particular fight, but there is been a bit of a boom going on in the UK for the last couple of years. It's kind of a bit crazy, all the fights going on at the moment. You sort of played a big part in being involved in that story when things really started. Well, you sort of fought when you fought Ricky Hatton. It kind of started from that era, from the Hatton era. What do you make of what's going on in the UK at the moment? Have you got your eye on the scene? Who do you like and who do you not like?
You know what? I haven't had a chance to really look at it as much anymore since I haven't been working there. But there were guys like Richard Riakporhe who were fun to watch when I was working there. There was who else was there? Who was the light heavyweight? Whose parents born in Ghana, but he won a medal for the Buatsi. Yeah, Josh Buatsi really, really impresses me. It's just he's in a really rough weight class, so you kind of got to hold the horses there because Better Biev is there and Bevol's there, and then old Buatsi's a really terrific fighter. You want to see if you really want to test him against those kind of guys, you know, because
Yeah.
he's a very, very good fighter. And if they were a little, and sometimes world champions are a little bit weaker than in some generations than they are in others. But right now, the light heavyweight division is in a position where the light heavyweight world champions are very, very strong. So if they were not so strong, I think Buatsi would have already fought for a world title and already won a world title. But I think he's being pulled back a little bit because they're probably trying to, you know, see how things open up in the light heavyweight division in the next in the coming years, because he's younger anyway. But yeah, there's those guys. Obviously, the heavyweight scene is fun in England. You know, with Tyson Fury there, and AJ, I think, is still always a very popular guy who can rebound after the 2 losses with Usyk. I mean, you got Fury and Chisora coming up. It's going to be a weird one, I guess. But you know, it keeps Fury busy. You know, and then we'll see. We'll see next year how things shape up. But the UK boxing scene is always very lively in my experience. In boxing for sure.
Yeah, I'm just moving back actually, which yeah, it's been away for 5 years. Yeah, it's good to be going home. Yeah, so actually one final thing you say about Joshua, you think he can bounce back? Yeah, you think he's still got gas in the tank?
Yeah, I think he can, and I think he will. You know, it ultimately comes down to, it doesn't matter what we say, it matters what he thinks and what he wants. Because if he really wants to be back, he will be back. Because you know, he'll have that same grind and determination to you know, put the work in and stay passionate. Obviously, when you made a lot of money, it's not always easy to stay that determined and passionate through rough patches. But I also think Joshua's he strikes me as a very principle driven guy. And I think, you know, just for the principle of it all, I think he wants to get back to the upper echelon of the sport. Which I don't think he's not. I don't think he's not on the upper echelon of the sport right now. But I think people, you know, he'll want to get back to his winning ways. And I think he also brings a lot of money to the table still. So I think his team over at Matchroom will also make sure to, you know, guide him and steer him in the right direction.
Okay, brilliant to get your thoughts on that. Paulie, thank you so much for all your time. I know you've got a really, really busy week. All the best with the show. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Looking forward to it. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, man.
Take it easy.